Hi everyone, today we're taking you inside the Terrorism Confinement Center, CECOT, in El Salvador, the largest prison in the Americas. Built to house the country's most dangerous gang members, CECOT is a symbol of El Salvador's uncompromising war on crime. For some, it's a beacon of hope. For others, a black hole of human rights. Opened in 2023, this mega prison can hold up to 40,000 inmates, severing their ties to the outside world and their criminal networks. Here, gang hierarchies are shattered, communication is impossible, and the state's control is absolute. Is this a necessary evil to reclaim a nation, or does it cross a line? Let's go inside and find out. Entering CECOT is not merely a formality. It's a deliberate and daunting gauntlet of security, a multi-layered system designed to strip away any illusion of freedom from the moment of arrival. The message is clear. This is a place from which escape is virtually impossible. 7 layers of gates, each one a formidable barrier, stand between the outside world and the prison's inner sanctum. These aren't ordinary gates, they are electronically controlled, reinforced steel barriers, designed to withstand any attempt at forced entry. Searches and checks. Every inch of every person and vehicle is meticulously scrutinized. Nothing is left to chance. The aim is to eliminate any possibility of contraband entering the facility, maintaining a sterile and controlled environment. Every visitor, guard, or staff member is subjected to the same rigorous protocol, no exceptions, no shortcuts. This unwavering commitment to procedure underscores the prison's dedication to security above all else. Vehicles are searched methodically and thoroughly. Mirrors are used to inspect undercarriages, and trained personnel examine every compartment, ensuring no hidden weapons or communication devices slip through. IDs scrutinized, using advanced facial recognition technology and cross-referenced against multiple databases. Any discrepancy, no matter how small, triggers an immediate investigation, and all personal belongings surrendered. Wallets, keys, phones, everything is cataloged and stored, severing the final ties to the outside world. This is a complete and utter detachment. Inside, there's no phone signal. Communication with the outside is completely severed. The digital world ceases to exist within these walls. Powerful jammers ensure total digital blackout. These devices emit a constant wave of interference, preventing any unauthorized communication from taking place. Full-body scans and biometric data capture are mandatory. Every inch of the body is scanned for hidden objects, and fingerprints are recorded and stored in a central database. For inmates, this is the point of no return, the moment when their former lives fade into memory, replaced by the stark reality of incarceration. Identities logged, meticulously recorded in both physical ledgers and digital databases. Every detail from name and date of birth to physical characteristics is carefully documented. Tattoos photographed, affiliations noted, gang symbols, personal markings, every detail is captured and analyzed, providing valuable intelligence to prison authorities. No visits are allowed, isolating inmates completely from their support networks. This policy is designed to prevent the transmission of information and maintain control within the prison walls. No family, no friends, no contact with the outside. This complete isolation is a key component of CECOT's strategy to break down inmates and prevent the formation of alliances. Guards, faces hidden behind balaclavas, patrol the corridors, their anonymity adding to the sense of unease and control. Conduct final pat-downs. These searches are thorough and invasive, ensuring that no contraband makes it past this final line of defense. This anonymity protects them from gang retaliation. By concealing their identities, the guards minimize the risk of being targeted by inmates or their associates on the outside. The process is designed to intimidate and reinforce the state's absolute power. Every aspect of CECOT, from its imposing architecture to its stringent security protocols, serves as a constant reminder of the consequences of defying the law. Once inside, the outside world simply ceases to exist. The heavy doors clang shut, sealing inmates off from everything they once knew, leaving them to face the harsh realities of life within CECOT's walls. CECOT's architecture is pure control. Reinforced concrete modules, 9-meter walls topped with electrified fencing. Inside, cells are arranged for maximum surveillance. Guards on catwalks and in towers have a panoramic view at all times. The Panopticon principle rules here: inmates know they're watched, but never when. Even the floors are covered in loose stones, making silent movement impossible. Every element is engineered for monitoring and control. Cells hold up to 100 men, packed onto bare steel bunks, no mattresses, no pillows. Lights never turn off, erasing day and night. With no clocks or sunlight, inmates quickly lose all sense of time. CECOT is a fortress designed to break both body and spirit. Life within the confines of CECOT is a stark and relentless routine, a monotonous cycle dictated by the prison's rigid structure. Every moment is accounted for, every action scrutinized. The day consists of the bare necessities: sleep, eat, bathe, and use the toilet. These fundamental activities, which most take for granted, become the defining moments within the prison walls. And all of this unfolds within the same crowded cell, a confined space shared with dozens of others. Personal space is a forgotten luxury. Privacy simply doesn't exist. It's an alien concept in this environment. Even the most basic and intimate needs are performed in full view of 99 others, a constant reminder of the loss of dignity and individuality. There's no escape from the ever-present gaze of fellow inmates. Many inmates are serving sentences, the lengths of which are almost incomprehensible. These sentences stretch into hundreds, even thousands of years, effectively condemning them to spend the remainder of their lives within these walls. Hope dwindles with each passing day. The crushing knowledge of no release, the realization that freedom is an unattainable dream, weighs heavily on their minds. This creates an atmosphere of profound resignation and utter despair, a palpable sense of hopelessness that permeates every corner of the prison. It's a breeding ground for mental anguish. Medical care is impersonal and detached, a far cry from the compassionate treatment one might expect. Medication is distributed through bars like feeding animals, with no private consultations or opportunities to discuss concerns with medical professionals. It's a system designed for efficiency, not empathy. Even legal proceedings happen remotely, via video link, further isolating the inmates from the outside world. Inmates never leave the secure perimeter. They are confined to this isolated environment, cut off from society. Personal possessions are strictly banned, a deliberate attempt to strip away any sense of individuality. There are no books to offer solace, no photos to evoke memories, and no letters to connect them to loved ones. Uniforms, identical metal bunks, and the constant company of fellow prisoners, all serving as constant reminders of their shared fate. These are all that remain, the bare essentials in a world stripped of comfort and personal expression. The system is meticulously designed to erase individuality, to mold the inmates into a homogeneous mass. It aims to dismantle gang culture and maintain absolute control within the prison walls, even if it means sacrificing the inmate's sense of self. Uniformity is absolute at CECOT. Every inmate wears identical white shorts regardless of former gang rank. Gang colors and symbols are gone. Everyone is indistinguishable. Meals are identical, weighed to the gram, and strictly supervised to prevent theft or favoritism. Heads are shaved on entry, erasing personal style and pride. Tattoos are the only remnants of past identity, but they mean nothing here. No privileges, no bargaining. Everyone is reduced to the same status. The goal? Crush ego, prevent internal power structures, and enforce brutal equality. In CECOT, the only identity that matters is inmate. Rule-breaking at CECOT means immediate severe punishment, solitary confinement in a pitch-black concrete cell. Inmates are thrown in with nothing but shorts, a bucket of water, and a hole in the floor. Food is passed through a hatch. Darkness is total. The psychological impact is devastating. Sensory deprivation breaks even the toughest inmates. Guards, always masked, enforce discipline with intimidating authority. The threat of isolation is a constant deterrent, keeping violence in check. In CECOT, fear of the punishment cell maintains order more than any weapon. Compliance is not optional, it's survival. Movement is a privilege, executed with military precision. Inmates are shackled at wrists and ankles, forced into stress positions, and marched in tight formations under heavy guard. Every transfer, medical, meal, or exercise is tightly controlled. Exercise is rare. Inmates are escorted to a caged area, unshackled briefly, then locked back up. Guards watch from all angles, weapons ready. No riots have occurred. Constant surveillance and restraint crush any spark of rebellion. Critics call it dehumanizing, authorities call it necessary. At CECOT, order is absolute. CECOT's most radical move, mixing rival gang members in the same cells. For decades, gangs were segregated, allowing them to consolidate power. Now, sworn enemies are forced to coexist, their old loyalties rendered meaningless. Tattoos that once signified allegiance are now just ink. Survival depends on adapting to a new social order. Violence is rare. Security and the threat of isolation keep tensions in check. The state's message, gang power is over, only the law of the prison remains. Forced integration is CECOT's boldest experiment in breaking the cycle of violence. Inside CECOT, a world unfolds that few can truly comprehend. The sheer scale of the facility is designed to instill a sense of hopelessness. Row upon row of cells stretch into the distance, a concrete labyrinth where the sun rarely penetrates. The air is thick with the weight of despair, a palpable presence that clings to everything. Stories of regret are common, echoing through the cold, sterile corridors. They are whispered in hushed tones, shared in fleeting moments of vulnerability. These are not the boasts of hardened criminals, but the lamentations of men facing the consequences of choices that have irrevocably altered their lives. One inmate, imprisoned since 21, a life sentence stretching before him like an endless desert, admits to multiple murders and kidnappings, crimes that cast a long shadow over his youth and have now defined his existence. He speaks with a chilling calmness, recounting acts of violence that seem incongruous with his youthful appearance. His life now an endless cycle behind bars, a monotonous routine of confinement and reflection. The clang of the cell door is a constant reminder of his isolation, the finality of his situation. There is no escape, no reprieve, only the slow, grinding passage of time. He warns young people, his voice raspy, his eyes filled with a weariness that belies his age. Gang life leads only to prison or death, a stark and brutal truth, delivered with the weight of lived experience. He knows firsthand the seductive allure of gang culture, the false promises of power and belonging that ultimately lead to destruction. Many inmates were recruited as children, lured by the promise of protection and camaraderie in a world where such things are scarce. They were vulnerable, impressionable, and desperate for acceptance, seeking belonging in violent neighborhoods where the lines between right and wrong are blurred, and survival often depends on allegiance. The streets themselves become a training ground for violence, a breeding ground for despair. Their crimes are horrific, acts of brutality that shock the conscience and leave lasting scars on the community. But their stories reveal a complex social reality, a web of poverty, neglect, and systemic failure that contributes to the cycle of violence. Understanding these root causes is crucial, even as we grapple with the consequences of their actions. For the government and many Salvadorans weary of the violence that has plagued their nation for decades, CECOT's harshness is justified, a necessary evil to restore order and protect the innocent. They see it as a deterrent, a symbol of the government's unwavering commitment to eradicating gang violence. These men once terrorized a nation, holding entire communities hostage with their brutality and impunity. The memories of their reign of terror are still fresh in the minds of many. The prison is not about rehabilitation, about offering a path to redemption or reintegration into society, but incapacitation and retribution. A clear message that those who commit such heinous crimes will face the full force of the law, with no possibility of escape or leniency. El Salvador's homicide rate has plummeted, a tangible sign of progress that the government touts as evidence of its success. The streets are safer, the fear has subsided, and a sense of normalcy has begun to return. But at what cost? What sacrifices have been made in the name of security, and what are the long-term consequences of such a draconian approach? CECOT stands as a stark symbol, a monument to a society grappling with its demons, a testament to the lengths to which a nation will go to protect itself. Of a society choosing security over human rights, a trade-off that raises profound ethical questions and challenges the very foundations of justice. The images of overcrowded cells and the stories of human rights abuses paint a disturbing picture, and the debate is far from over, as human rights organizations and international observers continue to raise concerns about the long-term implications of El Salvador's policies. The future remains uncertain, the path forward unclear. PLS, don't forget to subscribe for more videos.